The colony of Arden was a quiet place, far from Earth and full of new life forms. The humans there had always believed they were safe, but rumors began to spread of something unusual in the nearby forests. Something huge, something powerful, something that no one dared to face. People whispered that the creature was enormous, with glowing eyes and skin that seemed to change colors with the light. The farmers reported missing animals, broken trees, and strange footprints that no human could leave. Every night, the colony lights flickered, and shadows moved in ways that frightened everyone. Soldiers patrolled the area, but even they were careful. They did not go alone, and no one could stay for long. The creature was always there and gone before anyone could fully see it. The fear grew, and the people began to call it a monster. Yet, not everyone believed the stories completely. One human soldier named Marcus was curious. He had heard the tales, of course, but he had a strange feeling about the creature. Something told him it was not evil. Something told him it wanted to be understood. One evening, Marcus walked near the edge of the forest, where the creature was said to appear. The wind was cold, and the trees whispered in a way that made his heart beat faster. Suddenly, he saw it, standing tall between the trees, its eyes glowing faintly. Watching him, Marcus froze. His breath caught in his throat. The creature did not move closer, but it did not leave. It seemed to study him, like it was trying to understand who he was. The soldiers had warned him not to approach, but curiosity and something deeper made him take a step forward. The creature made a sound, not like any animal Marcus had ever heard. A low, soft vibration, almost like a word, almost like a call. Marcus felt a strange connection, as if the sound reached inside him and touched something he could not explain. The other colonists were far away, hiding behind walls and doors, watching him from a distance. They whispered, "It will attack. He will die." But Marcus did not feel fear, not in the way they did. Not yet. He took another step, slowly, carefully, and the creature did not run. It lowered its head slightly, and Marcus noticed the scars on its body, marks from fights, from pain, from a life that no one had tried to understand. He realized then that it was alone, completely alone, in a world that feared it. Marcus raised his hand slowly, showing he meant no harm. The creature watched, and then, in a movement so smooth, it seemed like water, it leaned closer, but before contact could happen, a loud alarm from the colony rang out, a signal that danger was near. The creature flinched, and the moment broke. Marcus stepped back, and the creature disappeared into the forest like smoke, leaving only a soft, glowing light behind. Marcus felt a strange sadness, a feeling that he had almost connected with something incredible, something no one else would understand. That night, Marcus could not sleep. He thought about the creature, about its eyes, about the sound it made. He thought about how everyone called it a monster, and how wrong they might be. He wondered if someone could ever truly know it. The colony talked about the events the next day. Everyone was afraid. Some even said Marcus was foolish, but no one could deny that something unusual had happened, something beyond their understanding, something powerful. Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The creature was still out there, watching, waiting, perhaps testing. He felt a promise in that silence, a promise that one day he would see the truth, and the truth would change everything the humans thought they knew. The forest returned to its quiet state, but the feeling of being watched never left Marcus. He would return, he decided, not because he was brave, but because he wanted to understand, because he could see beyond the fear that everyone else felt. And somewhere in the shadows, the creature watched him too, curious, cautious, but not afraid. Two beings from different worlds, meeting for the first time, and the story of their encounter was only beginning. The morning sun barely touched the forest when Marcus returned, his boots crunching softly on the dry leaves. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound made him pause. He remembered the creature's glowing eyes, and the strange vibration it had made, a sound that felt like it belonged to another world. Marcus took a deep breath, telling himself to stay calm. He was no longer just a curious soldier. He felt responsible for understanding the being that everyone feared. As he stepped deeper into the forest, the air grew thick. The wind whispered like voices calling his name. Suddenly, a movement caught his eye, a shadow between two tall trees. He froze, heart pounding, and then he saw it, the creature, larger than before, standing silently, watching him with glowing amber eyes. Marcus raised his hand slowly, hoping to show peace. The creature tilted its head, almost as if it was examining him. A strange tension filled the air. Marcus could feel it like electricity. Every nerve in his body screamed both fear and excitement. He had never faced anything like this, not in training, not in his imagination. Then, without warning, the creature took a step closer. Its movements were smooth, almost liquid, but Marcus did not move back. He remembered the feeling from last night, that sense that the creature was not a monster, not truly, not if someone tried to understand it. Marcus spoke softly, "I'm not here to hurt you." The creature made a low hum, a sound that vibrated in his chest. He could almost understand it, not in words, but in feeling, a mix of curiosity, caution, and something like trust. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Birds stopped singing, leaves stopped rustling. The moment was fragile, as if one wrong move could end everything. Marcus took another step, his hand outstretched, closer, closer, until his fingers almost touched the creature's shimmering skin. Suddenly, the ground shook. A tree fell somewhere in the distance. Marcus jumped back, but the creature did not flee. It stayed, crouched slightly, watching him carefully. Marcus realized it was not scared, it was cautious, testing him, watching if he could be trusted. Then Marcus noticed the scars. Deeper this time, across its limbs, across its torso, marks from battles, from pain, from survival. Each one told a story no human had ever tried to read. He felt a surge of empathy, and for the first time, fear and awe mixed in a strange harmony. A small rustle behind him made Marcus spin. Soldiers from the colony were patrolling the edge of the forest, shouting warnings, ready to attack, but Marcus did not move. He knew if they saw the creature as a threat, it would be too late. He had to protect it, or at least, give it a chance. The creature moved closer to Marcus, not aggressively, but with a gentle curiosity. Its glowing eyes locked on his, as if asking, "Can I trust you?" Marcus whispered, "Yes, I will not hurt you," and slowly, carefully, the creature extended a limb toward him, tentatively, like a hand reaching for understanding. Marcus felt a shock of warmth, a connection he could not explain. It was not friendship, not yet, but it was something powerful, something that made him realize the stories of a monster were lies, misunderstood by everyone who had never looked, who had only feared. Suddenly, a loud shout echoed. Soldiers were moving closer. The creature froze, its body tensed, ready to vanish in a flash. Marcus shouted, "Wait, don't shoot." But the humans were afraid, and fear made them reckless. The creature looked at Marcus one last time, that strange hum vibrating again, almost a warning, almost a plea, and then it disappeared, sliding through the trees like smoke, leaving only a faint shimmer behind. Marcus stood alone, the adrenaline pounding in his veins. He had made contact. He had touched something incredible, something the world feared, but Marcus knew one thing clearly. The real journey had just begun, and if he wanted to understand the creature, he would have to risk everything. That night, as Marcus sat by the campfire, he thought of the glowing eyes, the hum that felt like understanding, and a promise, silent but powerful, that their paths would meet again. And when they did, the truth would not be simple. It would challenge everything the humans believed. Days passed, and Marcus could not stop thinking about the creature. The forest seemed alive in his dreams, its glowing eyes haunting him, not in fear, but in curiosity. He knew he had to return, to understand, to connect. This time, Marcus came prepared, not with weapons, but with small gifts, things the creature might find interesting: shiny metal scraps, small glowing lights, pieces of food from the colony. He left them on a flat rock at the edge of the forest and waited. Hours passed, the wind moving gently through the trees. Then, a shadow emerged, smooth, silent, and cautious. The creature approached the gifts, sniffing, touching, and then, for the first time, making a sound that almost sounded like laughter. Marcus stepped forward slowly, keeping his distance. "I brought you these," he said softly. "I want to understand you." The creature tilted its head, watching him, its body language careful but not hostile, as if it could feel the truth in his words. They spent hours like this, the creature examining the gifts, Marcus observing every movement, every glance, every hum. The bond between them was growing, not with words, but with trust. The creature seemed to respond to kindness, to patience, to respect. One moment changed everything. A small animal ran past, startled, and the creature reacted instinctively, protecting Marcus by moving between him and danger, its body tense, powerful, but gentle. Marcus realized then, It could understand loyalty, courage, and care. Marcus took a deep breath. "You are not a monster, are you?" The creature made the hum again, vibrating in the air. Almost like a whisper of agreement, Marcus felt a tear in his eye. Not from fear, but from understanding. He had found someone who had never been seen, truly seen, but their peace was fragile. The colony had sent patrols deeper into the forest, searching for the monster, ready to destroy anything unfamiliar. Marcus knew he could not let them harm it. He had to act, to protect, to bridge the gap between fear and truth. He took a risk, stepping closer than ever, slowly extending his hand. "Trust me," he whispered. The creature hesitated, then touched his hand lightly. Its skin warm, smooth, almost alive with energy. A connection stronger than any words. A bond no one else could break. Hours passed as they stayed together, Marcus learning its movements, its responses, its quiet intelligence. He realized the creature could understand strategy, emotion, and even compassion, far beyond what any human expected. It was a mind that had survived in a world that feared it. But just as Marcus began to feel safe, a sharp sound echoed through the trees. Soldiers, closer than before, their weapons ready, fear in their eyes. The creature stiffened, ready to vanish. Marcus knew he had to act fast. He stepped between the patrol and the creature, hands raised, voice firm. "Stop. It is not what you think." The humans hesitated, unsure. The creature, sensing Marcus's courage, did not flee. It stayed, standing tall, its glowing eyes fixed on the humans, not hostile, but proud. That night, as the stars shone above the forest, Marcus and the creature sat quietly, side by side. Understanding growing without words, he knew that the real challenge was not making contact, but helping others see what he had seen, helping humans see the truth beyond fear. And somewhere deep in the forest, the creature hummed softly, almost like a promise that their connection would grow stronger, that together they could face a world that had always misunderstood them. And Marcus knew, finally, that this was only the beginning of something extraordinary. The colony was restless, whispers spreading faster than fire. The humans still feared the creature, believing it was a threat. Soldiers were sent deeper into the forest, weapons ready, hearts pounding. They moved carefully, but fear made them reckless. Marcus watched from a hidden hill, his heart beating fast. He had warned the colony many times, tried to explain what he had seen, but fear drowned out his words. Now, he had no choice. He had to protect the creature, or it might be lost forever. The creature sensed the danger, its glowing eyes scanning the forest, muscles tensed, ready to move. Marcus called softly, "Stay calm. Don't attack unless you have to." But the patrol was too close, too eager. The air smelled of tension, electric and sharp. Suddenly, the patrol stepped into the clearing, shouting orders. Guns raised. "Step back, monster." One soldier fired a shot. The bullet whistled past the creature, missing by inches. The forest seemed to hold its breath. The creature roared, not like an animal, but like a storm breaking. Trees shook, birds scattered. The ground trembled beneath the soldier's feet. Marcus ran forward, waving his arms. "Stop. It will not harm you." But fear blinded them. They advanced, weapons aimed. In a flash, the creature moved, faster than anyone could see, but not to attack, to protect. It stood in front of Marcus, its body a shield, powerful limbs blocking the bullets and shouts. Its eyes glowed brighter, almost blinding in the dim light. Marcus's heart raced. He had never seen such strength, such intelligence. The creature was more than a being. It was a force, but not a mindless one. It understood loyalty, courage, and protection. It was fighting, not for itself, but for him. A soldier stepped forward, gun aimed directly at Marcus. The creature lunged, not to harm, but to distract, knocking the weapon away with a force that sent the humans sprawling. Other soldiers hesitated, fear freezing their movements. Marcus ran to the creature, grabbing its limb. "We need to get out of here." The creature nodded, its glowing eyes flicking to the patrol. Then, like smoke in the wind, it moved through the trees, Marcus holding on tightly, feeling the power and intelligence in every movement. The forest was alive around them, branches bending, leaves rustling, as if the trees themselves were protecting the creature. Marcus realized then that the being was not just strong, it was connected to this world, a guardian in a place humans had never understood. They reached a hidden cave deep in the forest, safe for the moment. The creature lowered itself, breathing heavily, but its eyes stayed on Marcus. watching, as if asking silently, "Will you protect me?" Marcus nodded, his hand brushing its shimmering skin. "Always," he whispered. That night, the patrol returned empty. Confused and shaken, the colony was in chaos. Rumors of the monster grew wilder, but Marcus and the creature knew the truth. They had faced fear together, and the bond between them had grown stronger. Marcus looked at the creature, a quiet respect in his eyes. "We have to show them who you really are," he said softly. The creature hummed, a sound of agreement, almost like a promise that they would face the humans together. When the time was right, and somewhere in the forest, shadows moved silently, watching, waiting. Danger was not gone, but Marcus and the creature were ready, their bond stronger than fear, their courage brighter than any weapon, and the story of the misunderstood being was far from over. The morning sun broke through the clouds, painting the forest in soft gold. Marcus and the creature watched quietly from their hidden cave. The forest was calm now, but tension still lingered in the air. The humans were afraid, and fear was a force as strong as any weapon. Marcus knew it was time. He had to show the colony the truth, not with words, but with actions. He turned to the creature, whose eyes glowed faintly in the morning light. "Are you ready?" he whispered, and the creature hummed, a soft sound that felt like agreement. They moved together, cautiously leaving the forest. The soldiers saw them first, weapons raised, hearts pounding with fear. The colony was waiting, confusion and panic written on every face. Marcus stepped forward, hands open, his voice firm. "Stop. Look, she is not what you think." The creature stood tall, its body calm but powerful, its glowing eyes scanning the humans, showing intelligence and awareness. Not a monster, but something extraordinary. Marcus guided the colony's leader closer, showing the way. The creature had saved him, protected the forest, and even stopped the patrol without harm. Some humans still hesitated, fear twisting their minds. But then, a sudden threat appeared. From the sky, strange alien drones descended, attacking the colony, machines built for destruction, faster and stronger than any human weapon. Panic spread instantly, chaos erupting in every corner. The creature acted without hesitation, leaping into action with Marcus at its side, its movements precise, intelligent, protecting humans and destroying the drones with strength and skill that no human could match. People watched in awe, fear melting into wonder. As the monster became their savior, Marcus shouted, "Do you see? She is on our side." The humans stopped firing, stopped running, and started helping where they could. The creature's glowing eyes swept across the colony, scanning for danger and understanding everything. It was more than a being, it was a guardian, a protector, and a friend. When the last drone fell, silence returned to the colony, broken only by the soft hum of the creature. Marcus stepped forward, placing a hand on its shimmering limb. "They see now," he said, voice full of relief and pride. The colony leader approached, hesitant but respectful. "Perhaps we were wrong," the leader said quietly, eyes wide with realization. The humans had feared what they did not understand, but now they had witnessed courage, intelligence, and loyalty. The creature had earned their respect without violence, only through action and understanding. The sun set over Arden that evening, casting long shadows over the forest and colony. Marcus sat beside the creature, both exhausted but proud. A bond had formed that went beyond species, beyond fear, beyond misunderstanding. It was trust, true trust, forged in danger and curiosity. And as night fell, the stars reflected in the creature's glowing eyes. Marcus whispered, "This is only the beginning." A mysterious past, untold powers, and hidden knowledge lingered in the forest, waiting for the right time to reveal themselves. The humans had accepted her, but the story was far from over. Somewhere in the shadows, other creatures watched silently, curious and cautious, perhaps allies, perhaps challenges for the future. Marcus smiled faintly, knowing that whatever came next, they would face it together. Humanity had seen what it feared, and through one human's courage, a new chapter had begun. The forest was alive, the colony safe for now, and two worlds had bridged a gap that once seemed impossible. Marcus looked at the creature, a silent promise passing between them, that they would face whatever came next, side by side, and the legend of the misunderstood being, the guardian of Arden, would grow for generations to come.